In the year 1071 the Fatimids lose Jerusalem to the Seljuks, and in the year 1096 the First Crusade started, and 3 years later Jerusalem became for the Crusaders. And because of the Muslim loss of Jerusalem many wanted to take it back but couldn't, and in the year 1171 the Muslim leader Saladin was able to reach the rule, ending the Fatimid Caliphate and starting the Ayyubid dynasty. And he was able to unite Egypt, Syria, Hejaz and Yemen under his rule, and he promised all Muslims that he will return Jerusalem, and after many treaties and terms break by the Kingdom of Jerusalem, Saladin declared war on the Crusaders in the year 1187. Saladin started moving with his army to battle, but the Crusaders were in a strategic position because of being in the city of Tabaria, which had multiple water sources, and it was hard to take. So Saladin decided to surround the city of Saphoria, which had the Queen of Jerusalem, what pushed the Crusaders to leave the city and move towards Saphoria. And the army led by Gudulusan was exhausted because Saladin sent some troops to fire arrows at the Crusaders, and the army was fragmented and had to regroup, so the Crusader general ordered to camp, but this decision will make the Crusaders lose more water. And Saladin didn't let them sleep, since he sent troops to burn the camp and arrow the Crusaders. And the next day the Crusaders started moving, but the Ayyubids burned all the trees along the way, what made the Crusaders suffer from the heat and the smoke that made them barely breathe. And when the Crusaders reached the hill of Hattin, they found the Ayyubid army on it, so they started camping to fight the next day. In July 4th the battle started, as Saladin sent troops to weaken the Crusaders, and at the night Saladin ordered his troops to surround the Crusaders. And the next day the Crusaders realized they're being surrounded, so they tried to escape to the hill of Hattin, but the Ayyubids were on the hill, and the battle officially started. The battle was intense and it wasn't clear who's gonna win. Meanwhile some Crusader troops led by Raymond III tried to find an empty spot in the Muslim lines, and when Saladin knew his plan he ordered his men to purposely make a hole in the lines of Muslims. And Raymond thought he found a way out, so he moved next to the Ayyubids, but when he was far enough Muslims regrouped, what made multiple troops no longer in the Crusader army, and Raymond surrendered. And by that Gudulusan was surrounded, and at the same time the Ayyubids were able to take the Great Cross, which believed that it had a wood from the crucifixion of Jesus. The loss of the Great Cross really affected the morale of the Crusaders, and they started quickly falling. After this battle Jerusalem became under Muslim rule, and in the year 1254 the Ayyubid Sultanate fell to be replaced by the Mamluk Sultanate. Sub